It's the Wally Show podcast.
Wow. All right. So, yeah, we're letting people introduce the podcast, and that is somebody that spent a little time doing some work there.
Yeah, was that Christopher Walken?
It was. It was actually, in full disclosure, that was a celebrity impersonator. Me going, whoa, because that's all I can do of Christopher Walken. But that guy recorded that and then did his own intro to the podcast. So nicely done.
Are you saying you're an impersonator who's a celebrity, or
yes,
a celebrity, like an impersonator who impersonates celebrities?
I am a celebrity that impersonates other celebrities. So if you want to be someone that opens up our precast or introduces the precast, you can do that if you get the WayFM app. It's very simple. You can do it iPhone, Android, all that good stuff. I did have somebody, I sent you the email. I don't know if you got it. Somebody that wants an Amazon version of this.
Yeah, we've had like a couple people ask for an Amazon or a Windows one, and it's just there aren't enough users to
justify the cost.
Yeah, we don't have the money to do that.
AKA Zach hates you all.
Yeah,
yep.
We should do a Kickstarter for those three people. So sorry about that. But anyway, on with the rest of the precast, some of the things that we did not get to discuss on the show. One of those things is The Bachelor, because we can discuss it in more depth here.
And less judgment.
Way less judgment. That's why I love potties. Potties don't freak out about things. Like, they actually listen to the entire segment and then make up their mind and don't go crazy in email. The Bachelor's a sinful show. That's what you get when you talk about it on the air. But the thing is, there's like really interesting things that happen throughout the show, like human nature stuff. And last night was the hometown dates, and it was a good episode, I thought, because there was some drama between the brothers of one of the girls, JoJo. They called him out, like, you're just playing with these girls' brains, brainwashing them and stuff. And, you know, it was uncomfortable, actually. And I don't think totally fair, because you know your sister got into this situation, and you know what it is. You know that he's dating all these girls down to the end, and so while he's here saying how much he likes your sister, he's going to 3 other hometowns doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of, though, you have to pick one of two extremes. You either have to do that and ask his intentions and question it, or you have to ignore it and blissfully ignore it and say, oh, it's great, I can't wait for you to marry our sister. But that's not realistic either. Like, I don't know where I would land if if one of my brothers decided to go on the show.
Yeah, I think that's just where you have to be like honest about it. And that's the thing about him. He was trying to be as honest as he could. Like, he wasn't going, I'm in love with your sister, to any of them, and he was, or to their parents. And so he was being as straightforward as he could. But even one of the guys admitted, well, I know you can't say things, because the show won't let them talk about like the feelings from his side of it. And so that's part of the show. And so when you go on the show, you have to understand that process is messed up, and you're in part of that messed up process.
And you have to know it has like a miserable success rate. So if that's what you think your sister's there for, that was incredibly misguided.
Yeah, because winning isn't always winning on that show. You know, it's like
it's what, 2 relationships ever?
I think it's up to about 4 or 5 now. Like, somebody else just got married. I know, still not good out of 20
Still less
seasons.
than Survivor, whose role is not to do that. But.
Yeah, that's the irony of that. But it's not the best way to find a spouse. But it is an interesting thing where people get bent out of shape about it. You know, like, oh, he's kissing all these girls as he's dating. It's what normal people do in dating, where sometimes you date more than one person, but it's not like 25 of them. It's like hyper sped and condensed down, and it's not a normal situation. That's the thing. Like, if you think you're coming out of there with a normal relationship, it's just not.
The problem, though, is that these normal people with normal emotions and normal jealousy and normal feelings are going into an abnormal situation.
100%.
They can't ignore those normal feelings that they're having.
Yeah, and that's what's weird. Like, last night, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you who got sent home, so if you want to stop your podcast or fast forward, you can do that right now. But the mom, Amber, is it Amber? Amanda. The mom, Amanda, went home. And so I was bummed about that a little bit, but I saw it coming. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is not what he's in for. And like, he likes her a lot. She's great. He got along with the kids, but it's like, okay, she's going home. But again, everybody thinks they're special. That's what this show is built on. Everyone thinks you're the one. You're the one that's going to break the odds, and you're the one that's going to marry the guy, and this, that, and the other. And she was no exception to this last night. So she gets a good vibe from him. Everything's great. And at the end, when he sends her home, she's upset with him, obviously. And she's like, why did you have to bring me back? Why couldn't you have just let me go if you knew? And it's like, no. That's what the show is. Without the rose ceremony, you don't really have the show. That's what it's hung on. And so you sign up for that. You have to understand there are producers making these calls.
There is a side to it, though, that is a little cruel to make someone leave their kids again and fly out to L.A. again just to get dumped.
Oh, it's a bummer. Like, yeah, but that is the way that the show works. And so when you sign up for it, you know that. But you always think you're the princess. You're the special one. And it just goes to show you, ain't nobody special, in this world. Like
that's a great message.
Yeah, it is. But it's truth, because nobody, everyone thinks they're like the exception to every rule, but the reality is none of us are. We're all the same.
But if a guy flew Haley out to see him cross country and then dumped her as soon as she got there,
yeah,
wouldn't you be upset?
But I would understand that's part of what the rules are. And if you are putting yourself willingly in that situation, you have to understand and go along with what comes with that. I've driven not across the country, but I've driven like 10 hours to get dumped before. It wasn't fun.
This is really reminding me of our earlier podcast from, was it last week? Maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. Where we're talking about the girl that wouldn't obey the guy at her school.
Yeah, the chair.
And you have no, what's the word I'm looking for?
Soul.
Sympathy, empathy.
Sympathy. And then Zach does, but you're saying she knew what she was signing up for, so it doesn't matter. So it's kind of reminding me of that, where you have no sympathy whatsoever.
Yeah, like it can both be the game she signed up for, but you can still feel bad for her.
I do. That's the thing. No, I do. I feel bad for her. Like, it's like a real bummer. But like when you get mad, like she was mad about it. Like, why would you do this to me? And it's like, no, that's what the show is. So I mean, you have to understand that. Like, so I feel bad that she had to leave her family for another day and then fly out. And I feel worse for her in that she did introduce like this guy that she felt comfortable with to her kids, and that is a big deal for like single moms and stuff. Like, I get that's a big deal. You don't do that a lot, and I mean, it's not going to scar these kids. They met him for one day at the beach. It's not the end of the world, and they're young. But I understand from her perspective, that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And so then him dumping her, I think that was part of it as well. I think it all factored into it.
Do you think it was wrong for him to do that?
What, to bring her back, to send her home?
Well, to meet her kids when he knew that was important to her, and then to ship her out there and then dump her.
But he had to meet her kids to know if that was the life he wanted to be in. Like that's fair to her and him. Because it's not fair to go, look, he's 20-something and he's starting to, he comes in, I'm going to find my wife, and then all of a sudden there's a lady with kids that he likes.
Was that the main factor, though? Was that what he led everyone to believe, was that he was breaking up with her because of...
No, not at all.
Well, then why was he doing it?
Yeah, he told her straight up, he said, there are women here that I have stronger feelings for than you. And like that
he should have known that before he met the kids.
He said he didn't.
Like he's feeling like they don't have children.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Like the kids speak volumes.
Honorable for him to not blame the kids and
but
to
really
put it
deep
on
down
them,
it is.
That's got to be part of the package.
Oh,
right?
It has to be. Like, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. That's the thing. Where if you say, "Well, I don't want kids," everyone goes, "You're a horrible person." No, it's like, I'm not ready to have a family yet. That's fair. To him.
And in a different situation, say that he had met her just out on the street and they dated, and like I feel like that would be a different situation to adjust to that lifestyle.
Right.
It'd be a whole other thing. But when you're dating all these other girls and you're comparing relationships, that's when it gets tricky.
And here's the thing. I think, Betty, you were saying, was it fair or right of him to bring her back knowing he didn't know? He said, look, I didn't know what I was going to do, like literally right up till just before this moment. And because that's why, that again is where it goes back to, this is such an atypical situation where you don't have time to process things or whatever. And I think I actually understand this situation. Like, I actually think I understand and can empathize with him in this role, because I do think he's like falling in love with more. It's designed that way. Like, you're falling in love with multiple people. And so the decision making of that and hurting somebody at that level would be really hard. Like, that would not be fun, having all these breakups happen. And I think you would be at a point where you're like, this girl's so great here and this girl's so great here, and I can see my life with either of them. But now I have to make a decision in this 30 seconds here, and like, you make that call. And like, I think he probably was trying to decide up till the end.
Do you think you know who he's going to pick?
Boy, I'm so horrible at this, at picking the overall winner. I selfishly think it's Callie. Is it Kaylee? I always forget their names. Kayla.
Wow.
Yes.
Close.
Yeah.
So it's Kayla, JoJo, and Amanda B.
Yeah,
Not
the blonde.
Not Amanda.
Leah?
No.
It's a blonde.
Lauren B.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's those three. I think JoJo's not going to make it past the next round. Kayla, like her family was really gracious to him. Like hers was the best family. And plus her dad is like a CEO at Step 2. It's like a kids manufacturing toy thing.
Oh, is she the one from Hudson, Ohio?
Yes.
Okay.
How did you know that?
Because Step 2 is right there.
Is there anything about Ohio you don't know?
Hudson is like the next town over from where I
Wow,
live.
and you didn't watch last night?
I know.
Are you sure?
Oh, I
Missed
didn't.
it.
I'll go watch it on Hulu because I didn't realize they went to Hudson.
Yeah.
Hudson's a very upscale town.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because, her dad does okay, so I could see that factoring into the decision a little.
And I could see all three of them being the Bachelorette for next season. So I don't know who.
I would vote for Bachelorette. I would vote Kayla.
Kayla, 100%.
Yep.
Love her. Love that girl.
You don't have to take it to that level.
Sorry.
That decibel.
Yeah. She, I really like her. I've always liked her. I thought she was sweet, and she seems kind of cool. Next week is kind of the bummer with The Bachelor. This is where, like up to this point, like he's conducted himself like in a really good manner, I would say, given the circumstances that they're in. But next week is the old fantasy suite and stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he dodges it either.
No, and like one of the kids, like one of the girls' brothers, asks him about it, and he answers so badly to that.
Yeah, he's like, well, let me tell you.
Because I can tell you this, we've had a Bachelorette on the show before, Tenley, and she was awesome, man. Like I thought this girl was so cool, and but she said, you know what, that is some people. Yeah, it is what you think it is, and for other people, it's not. It is a chance to like hang out and literally talk and like because we've all done that with people, like with our wives or whatever, beforehand. Like you're like, oh my gosh, we sat up all night talking, and like for them, it's like a place where there aren't cameras, and they finally get that moment to just literally talk. And she was saying that that does happen more than the other.
Yeah,
but the show makes it all seem salacious.
Right, but that's where I do respect. Not that I always believe it, but I do respect it when they're like, "Hey, this isn't for this.
Right,
it's so that we can have more time together away from the cameras." Those are my intentions. What do you think?
Right.
So my hope is. I'm rooting for him to go that route. I don't think so.
Oh, I think so.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's a good guy. He seems like a good guy, but I think that he has that side to him.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Oh, look at you.
I do.
Okay.
So I'll be interested to see how that works.
We'll see how that plays out.
I think when it gets down to three women like this, the producers of the show should make an offer to the women, any of the women. Whoever takes offer first, we will make you the next Bachelorette and give you $500,000.
Nice.
And see if any of them.
Or you can stay and marry him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
That's a great idea.
Secretly film it.
Yeah.
And then play it back for him to see who.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
that'd
the
be
show
great.
just got better.
And then he won't be in doing that dance in a couple weeks where
Yeah.
he's like, I love them both. He'll be
Yeah.
like, oh no, she's going home.
That would be great. Because if you think about it, $500,000 is a lot of money. And a chance to meet a whole
Even
bunch
more.
of different guys that
You
you
get a
might
lot of
like
choices.
better. Like,
Yeah.
And a chance to extend your 15 minutes of fame even longer.
Yeah, that is a really
That is a
great
great
twist.
idea.
We should submit that.
Yes.
We should.
Oh my goodness! All right, well there you go. That's a little bit of Bachelor talk. I'm trying to think. Here.
Can I just say again? I did not watch it last night. I'm very so that streak of two
But
in a
it
row
sounds like that's
is a
going to
fluke
change
and it's
tonight.
over.
Yeah,
You're going
he is
to
gonna watch it. He can't.
Watch it on Hulu.
Yeah, he can't not.
He's like, it has Ohio in it. Not every episode has Ohio, Zach.
While we're talking about dating and stuff, Betty Rock, I came across this thing, 7 things women wish that men would do on first dates. Because I know that you have very high standards, and that's good. You should.
Thank you.
so
Come to
what-
the door. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Am I
well,
not
yeah.
guessing?
What
Sorry.
are some of the things that you would expect on a first date?
Pay.
Good.
That's
Pay
1 through
the
7.
bill.
Crazy that's right out of the gate the first thing. I think that's all. Is that not understood anymore? Like for
No.
me, that wasn't understood.
No.
Really?
I've been in situations where
No, you haven't.
you didn't know which way it was going to go, and I was sorely disappointed.
Really?
Wow.
Fun fact, when I was in high school, my dad did not let the boy pay.
Really?
Yeah.
'Cause
He would
didn't
make
want-
them call up the house
Yeah.
to ask me out, and he didn't want it to be considered a real date. And so
Okay.
we always had to be with other people, of course.
Right.
And then the guy was not allowed to pay.
And that way, yeah, because you don't think you owe him anything at that point either,
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but I was raised like you pay. Like as a guy, you go on a date,
That's
you pay.
a given. We should go around the room, the three of us who are married, and answer these for like the first date with the person we're married to.
Oh,
if we did it?
If we
Oh
did
yeah,
all, if all
that's a
these-
good idea too. Okay, yeah, I paid. We went to the movies, Lethal Weapon. I
Joey-
paid and bought the large popcorn.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
fancy.
that's expensive when you're in college.
Joey did pay, but our first date was actually an accident, and I forgot my wallet, and we still consider that our first date. So.
Oh, okay, all
paid,
right. Let me see. So, let me see. That did not make the list, believe it or not.
What?
I'm so surprised. I guess maybe it still isn't understood. All right, Betty Rock. Let me see. One of the other things here is don't examine the bill like you're itemizing what each person ordered. Zach, did you do that? Did you look at the thing?
No,
or-
not at all.
Okay.
And I don't honestly even remember where we ate on our first date.
Probably McDonald's.
Well,
That would be explorers.
if you technically our first date was Taco Bell, but
Attaboy.
that would, like
That
that's
should be
where-
on the list.
Yeah.
First date can't be at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Well, you didn't pay, so you wouldn't have had to
I
look at
didn't
the
pay,
bill.
He didn't look. I mean, he didn't. He was super. He actually. So our first date, we went out to Village Inn, which is like a
Pizza?
Baker Square kind of. No, it's
Oh.
like a diner kind of.
Yeah, I've been
And
to
then-
Village Inn. Went
yeah.
there on my honeymoon and had chocolate pie.
I love
Really
Village
good.
Inn. And then we went back to the church because Joey worked there, and he had bought season 4 of The Office for us to watch together.
Nice.
And so he bought that like ahead of the date without even asking. So,
Oh, okay.
So your
yeah.
first date was you went to church.
Yeah.
All right, nothing wrong with that. All right, Betty Rock,
great.
what is something else that you would expect on a first date? We'll see if it made the list.
And go back to Becca that he needs to come to the door, not honk or
Yeah.
text and say, "Hey, I'm here."
I'm here. Come down. Yeah. Hold the door open and pull out her chair. So that's one. Like the general gentlemanly things to
well,
do.
you would think.
Yeah. I always do that. Like I still always hold every door for my wife. I don't always open the car door anymore.
Well, I think that can be overdone.
Yeah.
The whole
Because
car
and that's
door thing.
inconvenient too when it's cold. I think Zach's mentioned that before.
Yeah, I held out strong for like maybe 3 or 4 years into marriage, and then
Yeah.
it just got like my automatic door lock broke. And so, like I'd have to go unlock the door from my driver's side, then walk around it. Like at that point, she's like,
We're going to talk about
get
this
in.
tomorrow on the show. We're going to do a 5 calls that I think, because they were kind of like, I wouldn't say making fun of me, but just like shocked that I walked you to your door after the concert the other night. It was late at night at your apartment, and
Well, I thought that was ridiculous.
Did you really? Yeah. Okay, well then that's crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
I
See,
did.
that's-
And I told you. I said, I'm fine. Don't
I know.
worry about it.
like she's a grown woman.
I
She
know.
walks herself to
Yes,
her door.
grown
I do
women
it every
things.
day.
And you left your daughter in the car to do it.
Locked in the car, so she was safe. But like your apartment is on the dark side of the building, and so like it's not light back there. And so for me, like that's how I was raised. You always, if you're taking somebody home, you make sure that they get home and that they're safe. That's all.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
would
I
think-
just said that
I
it was.
want tomorrow. I'm going to call your mom, and I want to see if your mom appreciates it, because I guarantee your mom would be like, "Oh, that was really sweet of you."
She would.
Yeah,
I know
see?
she would.
Yeah, because that's. I mean, I try to look like if
Like
I'm
I was raised like that for a girlfriend, but not like coworkers or just people I know.
Well,
like anyone I
but
drop off
treat-
at their house.
I treat all the girls on the show like if they were
You've
my
never
daughter.
right. I mean, you've never walked me to a door.
Well, I
so
don't care about you. but like Becca, if I'm like at Becca's place and I drop her off or something, I sit there and I wait till she physically opens her door and gets in her house and closes
That
the
I
door.
get.
And then
Yeah.
I wait.
Yeah,
but
that makes
It's
sense.
the same thing as you, but I couldn't see you on the other side of the
Yeah, I
apartment.
guess so.
But that's
So-
where, like, have her text you when she gets in, wait there for a couple seconds, you get the text, you leave.
Yeah.
I think that's a good compromise. If he's going to be overprotective,
now I'm overprotective.
like, let him do a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
All right.
not that I don't appreciate it. I do.
Okay. Well, we'll talk. We'll let other normal people decide this tomorrow,
okay.
because I don't trust any of your all's gut on this. Let me see. Let me see. What is something else, Betty Rock, that you look for in like a first date?
Well,
Were you gonna say listen?
no,
Oh.
no. I was gonna say have a plan. Don't just say,
That's good.
"Hey, let's just hang out." Oh, what do
Yeah.
you want to do? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But then again, have some leeway too, because I
Yeah.
have been in the situation where it's like I'm told what to do, and I don't like
Did
it.
they give you a binder?
Guys
with
cannot
tabs of
see,
everything that you
but
need
this
to
is
do?
where guys can't win. You have to plan
No.
spontaneity.
No,
then
no. This is what you do. All guys listening,
Find out
say,
what she likes.
Yeah, find out what she likes. So you should know her a little bit first, and then say, "Hey, I'm thinking either this or this. What sounds better?" Great.
Right.
And then have an either or for an activity as well. So either or for a restaurant, either or for an activity.
So you have to plan 2 dates because women can't make up their mind about things. Yeah, that's what's crazy. Like usually women are like, "Hey, I want someone that's going to kind of take charge or say, hey, this is what I had planned." Like you want it planned, but then it's like in the same breath, it's like, "Oh wait, but don't plan it too much."
Well, but
No.
also if you do have planned something, because I get, if you have something special in mind, like, hey, is that sound fun? Does that sound cool? Because what if she's like, I'm afraid of golf, and you take her mini golfing? That's a terrible date.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you
and
should know
like
her. a
Betty
little bit.
said, you just feel like you're being told what to do. That's not fun.
Well, and yeah, like you end up going to places and you're like, oh, I am dreading this because that's not. I don't like that at all.
Like I get not ordering for someone. Have you ever seen that? Like that's really
Oh
weird.
yeah, that's weird.
I'll have the T-bone and she'll have the salad.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse
And the
me?
lady will have. You know what? This one is aligned with that. Actually, ask her out on a date, not just hey, let's hang out or let's chill. Like be defined in the actual intention.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes, because that can lead to
you paying for your own meal
right
again.
or him wanting to pay, and you're like, wait a minute, what? I thought
we were just buddies.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like you're left for the days leading up to the date wondering if it is a date or if it is just a friend thing, and that's no fun either.
My
get-
daughter
yeah.
is in a weird place right now where she is going to banquet and she has her dress, everything, but no date. She doesn't want to go with any of the guys at her school. Like she's not interested in any of the guys in her grade. And so she's trying to decide, well, I'm going to bring someone from outside of school, but then she doesn't want to ask them. But like, how would they know she's even having a banquet if she doesn't ask? It's that weird thing. Like, I feel bad for her as like a junior in high school. Like, that's where I wish for her sake, like someone at school and her like connected and she liked them and they would ask her and have that whole banquet thing or whatever.
One of my banquet dates was a pity date.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had just gotten dumped.
Oh.
Like maybe a week before.
I can beat that story, but I won't use names because it would be traumatizing. But I heard through the grapevine that one of the girls at the school, her dad called the boy's dad and said, hey, will you have your son ask her to prom?
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
And they did it.
I basically did that for my senior prom.
No, you didn't.
Like there was a girl who wasn't. Her mom said she couldn't go unless a senior boy asked her, and I was just going. I'm like I didn't care, so I was like,
just keep your
all
options
right, sure,
open.
you want to come with me? Yeah. Well, I was so popular
Yeah.
that it was hard to. It was much like Ben on The Bachelor. Like he felt bad telling all these girls no.
Yeah.
Like you just didn't want to break their heart, so I was just gonna show up.
Oh,
So
wow.
I took her, but it was really awkward, and her dad like pulled me aside when we picked her up, and he gave me $50. He's like, "Hey, take good care of my daughter."
That's great.
All right.
Yeah,
And
see,
it was just weird.
And I'm kind of in that place too, because like if she there's this kid that she hangs out with that she likes his friends, and I could see her liking him, but she's real guarded about that stuff. But she like if she does ask him, hey, because they have mutual friends at the school, so it wouldn't be weird for him. Like he knows.
Oh, that seems like a good situation.
Yeah, like he knows kids there
Yeah.
and they would sit together and stuff. So like it's perfect. And so, but like I wouldn't expect him if she asks him. I wouldn't expect him to pay the $45 to go to prom or to banquet. I would pay for that, which feels this is such a weird world that I never thought I was going to be in.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but as you're walking through it, you're kind of like, all right, this was not how the TV show goes, And
She should pay it.
but who, Haley?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that, but then I'm like, that's all right. I don't want to make her pay for that. That's already sad enough. That you having to ask
I think
somebody.
it's even sadder that you would be paying it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what dads do.
Are you just a little bit disappointed she hasn't asked you?
Yes. Hey, I haven't even floated that idea yet.
Wow, that's growth.
I'm waiting until she gets desperate. Hey, honey, I'll take you. Oh my gosh, that would be horrible.
I'm glad you recognize that as horrible.
Oh yeah.
Good. I'm so glad.
All right, that's going to have to do it for the precast today, and now on with the podcast. This is the Wally Show, and the other day, my boss sent me this video that I thought was pretty cool. It was people rating themselves on a scale of 1 to 10 of how successful they think that they are. And then they had their loved ones come in and surprise them and rate them with how successful they felt that their mom, dad, husband, wife, or whatever it was. So the ratings would be a little bit different. But of course, the loved ones are going to rate them high. You know, they're going to say, oh, you're the best. But what I'm curious about is where we would all rate ourselves. And then I want to look at how we think that person would have rated themselves. You know what I mean? So like for Becca, for example, I think I know what Becca would rate herself at successfully, but I'm not sure. So Becca, what did you, on a scale of 1 to 10, being successful in like professionally,
right?
Not personally.
Do you want other
you're
people
a 10 professionally? You know.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and so we would say, what would Becca rate herself? You know, professionally. She has a little bit of a self-esteem issue. So I'm sure her first question is there a number lower than 1? But that's not accurate. So I'm going to give you my rating based on what I think you would rate
I would
yourself.
say, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Not what I personally think, but what I think you would say.
Okay.
I think you would give yourself a 7.
Okay.
Is what I think. Betty, what do you think?
6.
Wow, you don't believe in her.
That's what I think.
What you think she would do. Okay,
Right.
yeah.
I said 6 as well.
Well, I was going to go 6 too.
Wow.
Yeah, what'd you say?
8.
Oh, good for you.
Is that self-centered?
No.
I mean, this is my dream job,
No,
guys.
not at all.
I think I could get better in it, but I feel pretty successful.
That's growth. Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Look, I like me.
I know. That's amazing.
We're going to have to take her down a notch.
Oh yeah. Okay. You know that's how the rest of the show's gonna go today. All right, we'll get to Betty's and Zach's and mine here within 15 on the Wally Show. This is the Wally Show, and we were talking about this video that my boss sent me that asked people to rate themselves on how successful they thought they were. Like a college put this out, and then they had their loved ones rate them, and it made them feel good because their loved ones are telling them how amazing they are and stuff. But I was curious about what we would rate ourselves and what we thought each of us would rate. Like Becca gave herself surprisingly an 8. That's growth because she normally has some big self-esteem
Are you
things.
saying that was wrong? Are you saying I don't do a good job? Are you saying I shouldn't be
No.
here? Are you saying I should get another job? Are you saying you don't like me? That's all I'm hearing.
8 was a little high,
What?
but so that was good. That was growth. We all rated you lower than that. Betty Rock. Well, let's go to Zach next. Because I'm really fascinated because I know Zach's first question is how are we defining success?
Oh, I know. There are way too many questions to even play along.
So thank you for at least just writing a number down.
Yes.
So
That was a big step for me.
based on the statistical erroneous nature of this question, I'm going to say Zach just gave himself a 4. No, I would think that you, especially in your new role with all the digital stuff that you do in addition to what you do for the show, I would put you at an 8. I would think you would think that you are successful, but you haven't reached what you want to fully accomplish yet. What do you think about Zach, Betty?
I think he gave himself a 9.
Oh, well, he does. He of all the people like in the building, he does have the highest opinion of himself. So,
But rightly so.
Oh, thank you.
I actually said 6, and the
Okay.
same reasoning as Wally. I just feel like Zach will never truly feel like he's reached success. He's just never going to be one of those people.
got it. Yeah. Okay. What was your actual rating?
I said 5.
Oh, you did. Wow.
Wow.
But you're working on this show. Like that's
3?
wow. Okay. So what have you not accomplished?
Well, like I think to claim success, you have to be successful at what you set out to accomplish.
Right.
And I feel like I've always just I fell into radio, and I don't feel like I ever really mapped out what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I just keep falling into different responsibilities. But
Like you never sat down and wrote work on the best Christian radio to write that best radio show in the world, but like you just did it.
right, it just happened. So I
Right.
can't really say that I succeeded at what I set out to do. I just
Interesting.
kind of
That's
So you're
kinda
just
interesting.
amazing, is what you're saying.
Well, duh.
I mean that's assumed.
No, wow, that's that. Yeah, I actually understand that logic.
So I at some point I'm not necessarily doing what I always thought I would be doing, but I haven't figured that out yet. So
Wow. Okay. Well, we have Betty's still to go, and I'm fascinated by this one. And then we have mine as well. So we'll see who sees themselves as more successful, Betty or myself.
You.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, I'm a failure. But we'll do
we
that
know
within we'll do that within 15 here on the Wally Show. This is the Wally Show, and success is one of those things that's hard to truly define, you know, because it's different for everybody. But I had seen this video of people rating themselves of how successful they were professionally, and then their loved ones rating them, and their ratings were always lower than the people around them. So we're kind of going through what we would rate ourselves and what we think each other rated themselves. Like, what do you guys think I gave myself as a success rating?
I would say a 6.
Oh, wow.
Because I feel like you are one of those people that defines success with money, and I know you used to make more money.
Right.
So I feel like you dropped yourself a couple points.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Zach, what do you think?
I said 7.5.
Okay.
Of course you did.
Well, he thinks this quiz is out to get him somehow, so he's got to pick a number in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I think you're confident, but
Right.
yeah, a little along the lines of Becca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Betty?
I think I'm going to give you. I think you gave yourself a 3.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm dying to hear why.
Because you come across as like you have all the confidence in the world.
Right.
But you have a lot of insecurities.
That's interesting. Yeah, I actually do. And it's weird. To do this job, you have to have a certain level of ego, but then that ego is counterbalanced by insecurity. And it's crazy that we all in this room have some, and some more than others. And mine, I probably have just as much, but I hide it a little bit more. I actually gave myself like a higher rating than you guys gave me, but for different reasons. Like, I gave myself an 8 because I've been doing this.
I was going to say 8.
I know, you should have.
That's what I had written down first.
I know, because I've been doing this longer than you guys, and like I've had success like in the mainstream world, and then and my goal originally was like to work in New York or LA, and then I had the chance to work in LA, and I got that opportunity, and I turned it down because it wasn't right, and so we've gotten this show where we've done really well, and we've been top 3 in a bunch of our markets. So like, to me, that's successful, but there's still room for growth because we haven't been number 1 yet. Like, I want to be number 1 over not just the Christian stations, but over the mainstream stations. That's my goal. My goal is always to be the best over everybody, because then that makes this seem so much cooler. Like, if all of a sudden you're a Christian station that normally doesn't crack the top 12 and you're number 1, that's a big deal. People take notice of that, and then there's a reason, and ultimately that's God, and stuff. So for me, I haven't gotten there yet.
Wow, so you're taking the credit from God. That's all I heard.
No, I'm saying that's him. It's ultimately that's him doing that. And I won't see it as true success till we own Dallas. Like, that's my goal, because I want to own Dallas big time, and then I can like hang this career up is when we win there. So, and we're right around the corner from that, so it's pretty great. Be nervous. You're on notice, Dallas stations. All right, so Betty Rock, let's see, what did Betty Rock give herself? I think Betty Rock suffers from a lack of confidence that she does not need to have, because she is amazing, but I'm going to say that she gave herself a 4.
Wow, I said 4 as well, because I
you?
think that you're just starting to realize like bigger dreams.
Yeah.
Not because you're not happy with where you are.
Oh, I said 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, Betty Rock, what'd you give yourself?
I give myself a 6.
You did!
Oh,
wow! That's amazing. But see, again, that's growth, because
But
I
now
don't
I'm
think...
thinking I should probably give myself a 4.
No.
Yeah, when
What I
I
Becca...
didn't
said
say
it
that
does
that's
make
what your
sense.
success is. I'm saying that's
Oh,
what
I
you
know,
think it
I know.
is.
Why are you
I know.
success shaming her,
I'm
Becca?
not.
That's what just happened. No, I think I think that's good though. But that's growth for you to like say, hey, I am being more successful, and I love that. That's good. That's what you are. You're amazing. But I don't think you always see how good you are at your job, or
Well, comparison is the stealer of joy,
yeah.
and that's where I have a weakness.
Well,
It's
there you go.
comparison.
It's okay. You're doing a great job though. So
Thank you.
I'm proud of all of you guys. If I was going to give you guys my own rating, it would have been 10s across the board. Yeah,
Aw, so
yeah,
sweet.
yeah. An 11 for you, Zach.
Wait.
Facts and opinion Which do you think there'll be more of?
You got that little smirk on your face. You think you're so clever.
It's the Wally Show News.
And Becca's going to get you caught up right now. What's happening?
Even when he's on top, Donald Trump still has to have someone to fight or something to fight. On Sunday, a protester turned off the lights while Trump was speaking at a rally. But Trump decided he actually liked it better with the lights off. So when someone got the lights back on for him, he made it known that that was not okay.
No, get those lights off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off.
Yay! It's like being at a concert. People will cheer anything and like chant anything. It's really funny to do that. I don't get why he wanted the lights back off, but a power play, I guess.
I hope he does that at the State of the Unions.
Turn off the lights
when he's president.
That's gonna
stuff
be
like that. Oh my goodness!
It will be interesting.
And it's not the only issue that he had with protesters this week either. Last night, someone was escorted from another rally he was speaking at because they became unruly. And Trump commented from the stage, "I'd like to punch him in the face."
Oh man!
And even added that in the old days, protesters would be carried out on stretchers.
Oh man!
Wow.
Pretty sure that's assault.
Yeah, that's just it's not very presidential, but refreshing in a way. I'm not sure. I don't know where I land on this. I don't know where I land on this.
When you're running late, you feel pretty desperate to just get out the door and get to the next thing. Well, one man may have taken that too far. He locked his keys in his car, and instead of calling his bosses saying, I'll be late for work, he decided to steal a city bus that was idling nearby to get to work on time. Yeah.
There's a level of you that has to respect that kind of dedication. I'd like to see a little more hustle like that out of the three of you, to be honest with you. But
more felony auto theft?
If that's what it takes to be great at your job, yes. That guy's a hero. No, that's weird. Did he get fired?
Well, the GPS tracker, the police found him quickly. He's facing 5 years in jail, and the company said that they're currently exploring his employment.
Oh,
so probably won't
that
be
is
fired.
A bummer to feel that desperate. Like if I'm late again or whatever, I'm gonna get fired, and like to go to that length and then end up ultimately getting fired. Like, at what point in time did he say, "Okay, I can steal this bus, get there, not lose my job, and not go to jail"? Like, I wonder where none of that information clicked in his head.
Sometimes you're not thinking when you're trying to get out the door.
I guess, yeah, just a bad day.
And finally, the debate continues on whether or not Apple should assist the FBI in hacking the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino shooters.
Apple is fighting back against critics and says it has no sympathy for terrorists despite refusing FBI orders to unlock private iPhone data. In fact, Apple hates terrorists so much, it's releasing a new U2 album just for them.
All right, there you go. That's going to do it for your news for this hour. Thank you, Miss Becca. This is the Wally Show, and we're kicking off something new called Hot Mess. And what this is a chance for you to actually talk to some friends of ours who do biblical counseling. And when we were formulating this idea, Zach asked me, he's like, well, why do you want to do this? Kind of like, what are you trying to accomplish? And it was a great question, because the answer is, I want people to get help, from people that are qualified, because there are a lot of big questions that people have that I get asked every day, and I do my best to help people out, but I'd love for them to be able to, talk to a counselor and go to that next level where they can get longer term help as well, because I love that we have the prayer wall and we can pray for people, and I look at this as like the next tier of that, ultimately helping people get what they need to connect with God and be healthy.
And counseling is a good thing, and it's something that I think a lot of people sometimes are scared to take that next step, and they don't know where to turn or what's going to be a good program or a good facility or a good doctor or what that looks like. And so it's kind of cool to be able to offer this as a chance to say, hey, these people know what they're doing. They're going to start at a biblical foundation and kind of take care of what's causing the problem.
And I think there's a stigma to counseling, because I had it for a lot of years. Like, I looked at people that were in counseling as weak. Honestly, I was like, oh man, just don't be like that. Just fix yourself. You have all the strength within you to do that. It's not true.
Right.
It's a lie. And it's one of those things that keeps people, that mentality keeps people in a dark place. And there's strength in saying, I don't have this figured out. I'm kind of a mess. I'm a hot mess. That's why we called it that. And want to reach out for help. So we have a thing at allwally.com where you can, fill out a quick form that lets us know a little bit about what's going on with you. And then if you want to talk with us, we're going to do it in the podcast so we can take it longer form and spend more time unpacking things. And then there's the option for you, if you choose to say, hey, I'd like to go deeper and, do some counseling sessions, this, that, and the other. Because I think there's enough people that struggle with so many things that the ability to get them help is a cool thing, and we have that ability. And I've been waiting on doing this. I've wanted to do this for a while. But then when we partnered up with Rock House, the reason that I love what they do is you can do it over phone or Skype too. So it opens it up to everybody, So anybody, there's no excuse like, well, I can't get there or what have you. It's like, here you go. And so now you can, seek this out. And I think too, when you share your story, it's your mess that becomes your message ultimately. And so when you share your story with us and we talk through it on the podcast, and then we'll bring part of that to the show as well. But when we talk through it, you don't know how much that might help somebody else. They needed that little bit of what was said to kind of jumpstart them and maybe either put them on that road to healing, or that moment give them some, illumination to why they are the way they are, and it clicks for them. I mean, that's cool. Like every time we see that, people share their stories, people's lives get affected and changed as a result of that. And there's one other really cool byproduct of this is when we're sharing people's stories, the reason we do that is because there are other people that listen and they start praying for that person. Because I think that therapy is great. I think that prayer is great. I think when you combine those two things together, that's like a winning strategy to get somebody help. So it's hot mess. We're kicking it off here in like the next couple of weeks. We're going to be taking your submissions right now and seeing how we can, coordinate getting everybody called and this, that, or at least as many people as we can. And you can check it out at allwally.com. This is the Wally Show, and the danger of TV is it makes things look too easy. Like I watch Project Runway, and I have this character flaw where I think I can do anything I see on TV, and I think I can be great at it. And so Becca and I were talking about this because Becca got a sewing machine for Christmas, and she's already made something.
I made pajama pants for my husband and pajama shorts for myself as my first project ever on a sewing machine.
Nice. I mean, and it's not easy. Like, your first project's tough. And so we were talking about this, and we're like, we should do a Project Runway challenge between Becca and myself to see who can make the better garment. And we're going to make something that Betty Rock is then going to model. We picked Betty Rock because it will cost us less in fabric because she's so little. We could have gone with Zach, but then I didn't think he would model a skirt as well. Oh, that's what we should have done, because then it would be funny.
Oh, it's too late.
Man.
Too late.
Hey, we could
Not in stone.
We could pick our models. I call Betty.
No. You know what? No, I want Zach. And so we're going to make different skirts. We decided on skirts because originally I had picked out this pattern for this dress, and it was really cute, like ModCloth style. That's a fashion line that she likes. But oh my goodness, I looked at a very simple pattern. This is way harder than it looks like on TV.
I know, because you were saying like, oh, we should have a challenge where we add something extra beyond the pattern. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I could barely sew in a straight line. So.
Yeah, I've watched way too much Project Runway. Like,
obviously.
It seems so easy, but no pun intended there. SEW easy. Hey. See what I did there? Okay. No. Anyway, so it's SEW again. No? Okay. Wow, it's a cold room. All right, so again, I can't stop saying so and thinking of SEW. Okay. We're going to do this. We're going to give ourselves a week to do this, okay? And I don't think it's going to be very easy. Betty, do you have any suggestions or tips of your style? Because this is very important that we give you something that you like.
I like vintage.
I know. Mm-hmm. Do you like A-line type skirts?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
she had to think about it because you know what it is, but
right. And I think I know what it is.
Okay. Now this is because it's a vintage look. Now, do you want T-length? Or because I don't picture you as
I don't want T-length, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, why?
I'll tell you why. Because I think making it T-length would be too easy on y'all. So I want it full length.
What?
She wants a maxi skirt. Really?
Yes, because then if you get it wrong, it'll look like I'm wearing high waters or something.
Okay, so yeah, because you don't wear a lot of like skirts above the knee or anything like that.
No.
Oh no, she's like, oh no, my mama raised me right.
No.
But okay, so no T-length. Even if it was like a vintage, if it was a vintage look, like an A-line vintage,
You can wear it with like tights or something.
Oh wow, this
I'm gonna make what I want.
Oh really?
Well,
you can't do that
okay.
though. You got to give your client what they ask for. But you know what?
I know better.
Here's what I'd like to do is ask someone here, based on what you know about Betty, is there something we can do to personalize this skirt? So we're going to make like a maxi type skirt. Like, should we do cat hair on the waistband?
I knew it was going to go there.
No.
I knew it was going to go there.
Because it would match what's going to already go there. Like, so
Stop.
I'm not, okay, so that was a bad suggestion. I was starting
that
from
one's
that
out.
place. That's out. We're taking that off the table. But knowing what you know about Betty, what could we add to this, or what should it be like? I have a great idea for yours, and I'm going to hold it for a little bit, but I think you'll like it. I hope, because it's really personal to you. So we'll take your ideas right now. 877-91-WALLY. What is something we should add to this skirt, or what should we do with it or use for it to make it something that just screams Betty Rock? So if you got a thought, we'll take it. 877-91-WALLY. This is the Wally Show, or Project Wally, as we are calling it. No, we're not calling it that. But Becca and I have a challenge to make a skirt for Betty Rock based on Project Runway. And Becca has a sewing machine, and I always think I can do anything I see on TV. So we're going to make Betty Rock a skirt. So, Jennifer, what do you think we should do with this skirt for Betty Rock to make it cool for her?
I think you should do an asymmetrical hem ruffle, because it'll flow really nice as she walks, show off any cool boots she wants to wear with it, but still give her the length in the back.
I did look at one of those last night.
Are you speaking English?
Yeah, and I also had thought about
You understand this?
Yeah, I totally understand this. Yeah, we're going to make it longer in the back, shorter in the front, so you, like she's saying, you could see her boots. And then part of me actually thought about doing a maxi skirt mermaid dress, and I don't think I'm going to go that direction, because that's not really Betty Rock.
She's a little too old for that, too. That's more of a teenager thing.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said teenager thing, because Betty was fixing to lose her mind there.
Like, wait, what?
Wait.
Well, plus, if you can add a little bias into where you finish the hem, it'll give it more flair.
Oh, that is a really good thought. I hadn't thought of that yet.
Do you work with many men that know as many terms as Wally does?
I don't work with any women that know those terms. I'm the only one at my job that knows how to sew.
I thought about color blocking. What are your thoughts on color blocking?
Problem is, you get really busy. I don't know how tall she is.
She's very short. You're right. That could be
you don't want to go with different colors.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
How
Good
about
call.
we just make a skirt?
We are, but we're going to make one that's fabulous.
Oh, my goodness.
This is the Wally Show, and we have a Project Runway challenge between Becca and myself to sew a skirt. That's what we decided on for Betty Rock, and who can make the best one for Betty Rock. So, Tammy, how could we personalize this to her and make it something that she would like?
Some kind of cartoon that she likes, but make it adult.
Yes, I'm all about it. Yes.
You like cartoons?
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, you do like Scooby-Doo. But would you wear a Scooby-Doo skirt?
Yes.
You would?
Wow,
Yes.
didn't hesitate.
That's crazy.
Yes, I would.
Huh.
I would not have thought that at all.
It's surprising how much you know about women's fashion.
Well, sadly, I know.
Is it surprising or is it embarrassing?
A little of both.
Need an answer.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's not an answer. Well, actually, it kind of was.
Here's everything you need to know in under 3 minutes.
This is madness.
Or slightly more if Wally gets worked up.
You know, nothing grinds my gears worse than some chowderhead who doesn't know when to keep his big trap shut.
It's the Wally Show News.
And Becca is going to get you caught up right now.
Presidential hopeful John Kasich was speaking at a rally yesterday and maybe didn't have the best choice in words when he talked about how his first campaign.
How did I get elected? I didn't have anybody for me. We just got an army of people and many women who left their kitchens to go out and go door to door and to put yard signs up for me all the way back when, you know, things were different.
It was a different time back then. We kept women in our kitchens. Like, I know exactly what he's saying, but I could see that coming off wrong.
Yeah,
and that's your guy, too,
Yeah,
Zach.
I know, because he's from Ohio. But yeah, those are words that as soon as they came out of his mouth, it seemed like he was like, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
to back to different times,
Yeah.
different times." Not saying that's how it should be.
It's funny. No one's heard a peep out of him, and this is the first thing that like everyone really hears, like on a big scale.
He
It's
got
kind of a
second
bummer.
place in the New Hampshire primary, and so I'm thinking, oh, maybe my Ohio guy has a chance. And as I'm watching the news at night, half the news people mispronounce his name. I'm like, Is that John Kasich? No.
Kasich. Oh. It's funny, though, too, because I could see this kind of biting him a little bit, but when you look at Trump, who has said purposely inflammatory things and walks out unscathed, it just, none of it makes sense.
Right. So maybe a poor choice of words, but in context, it makes sense. But one of the people at his campaign actually called him out on it.
Your comment earlier about the women came out of the kitchen to support you, I'll come to support you, but I won't be coming out of the kitchen.
I got you.
I got it, ma'am. I got it. Ma'am, I'm a man. I can understand what you're saying.
Oh,
you know?
No. You didn't have to go there.
No, I'm saying I was role-playing.
You just Kasicked it.
I did. I just totally Kasicked it.
Ted Cruz fired his spokesman this week after another incident of seemingly dirty politics came out. You might remember during the Iowa caucuses when Cruz's campaign suggested that Ben Carson was getting ready to drop out of the race and that people should vote for Cruz. Well, this time his campaign targeted Rubio. They released a video of Rubio pointing to someone's Bible and saying, "Got a good book there." And then the audio is kind of hard to understand. So they say that Rubio said, "Not many answers in it."
No.
But in reality, Rubio had said, "Got a good book there. All the answers are in it."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is dirty.
Right. So they put out this video and there's a lot of backlash, obviously. And so Ted Cruz fired his spokesman for that.
Yeah, I can't stand that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't win on your ideas,
then don't go do something else.
Yes.
You know, if you like, if people don't like you wanting to build a wall and having other people pay for it with great ideas like that, like, not all ideas are good ideas. Come to think of it.
And Ibby is a hearing-impaired man who regularly visits his local Starbucks, so he uses his phone to type his order out, and then they kind of communicate that way, him and the barista. Well, this week he was surprised when he went in to make his order, and his regular barista used sign language with him.
No way!
Yeah, so he was kind of shocked and confused, so she actually slipped him a piece of paper that said, "I've been learning American Sign Language just so you can have the same experience as everyone else."
Is so cool.
Right?
Like, that's the kind of person that if you're running a company, you are so happy that you have working for you.
Yeah.
That realizes something, you know, in somebody and wants to make your customer's life a little bit better and goes a massive extra mile.
Now, you have a strict no tipping the barista policy. Would you tip that one?
That one I would tip. Yeah, 100%, because that is like next level. Like, that's pretty awesome. She still burned his coffee, but she did the right thing for sure. This is the Wally Show, and it's time for Wally's College of Knowledge, brought to you by Colorado Christian University, where Betty Rock is a student and I am a teacher. And what are you taking this time, Betty Rock?
American history.
How many weeks do you have left to go? Did you just start this class?
This is my second week, so I've got 3.5 more.
Okay, well, you're motoring through this, man. It does start to go quickly. We're going to play Wally's College of Knowledge here. It's not going to be about American history because that would be unfair to you, as Betty Rock is getting A's in all of her classes, because Betty Rock is the curve buster during this game. So what happens is, if you get an answer right, you get a point. But if Betty Rock also gets that same question right, what happens, Betty Rock?
I take the point away.
And what's the sound you make?
I don't remember.
Oh, no. It's all that American history in her head.
Oh, an evil laugh.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So if you want to play our game right now, this is going to be Wally's College of Cooking Show Knowledge.
Oh, boy.
Not a class that Betty Rock takes, not a class that I teach. We teach more intellectual stuff there, but we're dumbing it down for the radio, let's be honest, and it's a lot more fun. So Wally's College of Cooking Show Knowledge. I watch a lot of the Food Network, and I'm a big fan of that. So if you are as well, then you should answer.
Don't you have a show, Good Eats?
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, that's Alton Brown. It looks...
I do look a lot like Alton Brown. Somebody said, yeah, I saw it, the resemblance for the first time is that you look like Alton Brown. And the worst thing, like, for him is that he's gotten thin and better looking. And so I feel bad for him. Like, that's an insult to Alton Brown to say he looks like me now. All right, so we got you ready to go here with Wally's College of Cooking Show Knowledge. 877-91-WALLY is the number. So if you watch some of these shows and you're ready to take on Betty Rock as our curve buster in Wally's College of Knowledge, brought to you by Colorado Christian University. Let's go right now. 877-91-WALLY. This is the Wally Show, and it's Wally's College of Knowledge, brought to you by Colorado Christian University, where Betty Rock is a student and I am a teacher. But we're not doing either of our classes this time. It's Wally's College of Cooking Show Knowledge. Ashley is taking on Ben today. How are you guys?
Great.
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. Okay, so here's how it works. I'm going to ask you a question. Don't shout out your answer. And then Betty Rock is going to give her answer. buster. If you get a question right, you get a point. But Betty Rock is the curve buster. If she also gets that question right, you lose your point. So it could be anybody's ball game right down to the end. So here we go. Question number 1. Who is the host of Cutthroat Kitchen? It's a show on the Food Network. Cutthroat Kitchen. Is it Alton Brown, Bobby Flay, or Guy Fieri? We're going to start with you, Ashley. Who do you think that is?
It's Alton Brown.
Oh, you sound very confident. Okay.
I am.
Ben, who do you think?
I would concur. That's definitely Alton Brown.
Okay. And Betty Rock, who did you say?
I said Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay.
You're wrong.
Oh, look at Ashley. You're wrong. You're absolutely right. She is wrong. 1-1. Here's a little hint on the subtlety of this game, Ashley, though. If you come out and you go, I know it 100%, and then Ben didn't, and he's like going to change his answer. So you might want to slow play this a little bit. So here we go.
Gotcha.
Ben, your question. Who is the ace of cakes? Is it Buddy Valastrona, Duff Goldman, or Peter Simon? What do you think? Buddy, Duff, or Peter? Going with Ben first on this one.
I'm going to go with Duff. I'm not 100% sure of this yet. So.
Ben has got this down. Okay. So, Ashley, what do you think?
It's Duff.
Oh, she's like, hey, I can go. I'm going second. I'm going to be real straightforward. She watches as many cooking shows as I do. Betty Rock, who did you say?
The first one.
Buddy Valastrano.
Yes.
No, he's the cake boss, not the ace of cakes. Big difference.
I thought it was the same thing.
No.
Cakes are cake.
Duff is the actual answer. Both Ashley and Ben get that right. Nicely done. Question number 3. Valerie Bertinelli hosts a kids' baking show along with Duff, but what famous musician was Valerie Bertinelli once married to? Is it Steven Tyler, Mick Fleetwood, Eddie Van Halen, or Carlos Santana? We're going to go with you, Ashley, on this one.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even have an option.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Well, I'm sorry. I went
time.
fast. So, Steven Tyler, Mick Fleetwood, Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, or Carlos Santana? Ashley.
I think it's Eddie Van Halen.
Okay. Ben?
I'm going to say Carlos Santana.
Carlos Santana. And Betty Rock, what did you say? Mick Fleetwood. So we're all over the map on this one. One of you has gotten it right. And I'm really happy to say that it is not Betty Rock. It's Ashley. Wow. 3-2. Ashley, you are killing this thing. Here we go. On Iron Chef America, the chairman is portrayed by an actor who is introduced as the nephew of the original Japanese chairman, who was Takeshi Kaga, Pat Morita, George Takei, or General Tsao. So who do you think it is? Takeshi Kaga, Pat Morita, George Takei, or General Tsao?
I'm bummed because I thought it was his real nephew.
No, it's not his real nephew.
What?
Seriously, TV's a lie. So Ben, back to you. Who do you think it is?
I don't want to butcher this, but it's the first one.
Takeshi Kaga. Okay, what did you say, Ashley?
I concur. I'm going with A.
Okay, and Betty Rock?
Me too.
No, what did you write down?
General something.
You don't have General Tsao.
He has delicious chicken.
That's actually a Chinese dish.
Oh, is it?
Yes. General Tso's chicken.
I knew it sounded familiar.
That's awesome.
Sesame chicken.
Oh, I'm so sad you did not get that right. Oh, my goodness. But Ben and Ashley both did. 4-3. Ashley working on the clean sweep here. Which one of these is not a real cooking show? Man vs. Food, The Grill Next Door, kind of a playoff on The Girl Next Door, The Food Truck Race, or Worst Cooks in America? Which of those is not a real cooking show? Ben, we start with you this time.
I'm going to say The Girl Next Door.
The Grill Next Door. Ashley?
Grill Next Door for the win.
Grill. She is so confident, Betty Rock.
Grill Next Door for the win.
Oh! Grill Next Door is right. Betty Rock steals both points.
Yeah! That goes to you, Ashley.
But Ashley was in the lead 4-3 going into the final question there. So, Ashley, you're the big winner with a clean sweep. Boo! Nicely done. Ashley was very confident, and I respect that. So, congratulations, Ashley.
Thank you. My TV watching has finally paid off.
These are the least important stories out of Hollywood, but nonetheless entertaining. It's the least of these.
And Betty Rock has got it for you. What is going on?
To promote his new movie where he plays America's vice president, Morgan Freeman recorded his voice for the navigation app Waze. I think Zach has this.
Zach,
I love Waze.
And they do an Elvis one, which I Love. Isn't that the one with the Elvis one?
Yes.
Oh, really?
It has Elvis, yeah. I'm in the top 1% of all Wazers.
Are you really?
Pretty proud of that.
Wow, you're a 1%er.
Yes, I am.
On that app. That's got to be really fulfilling.
Betty just drives around in circles and listens to Elvis.
A turn left, a turn right. No. But Morgan Freeman is only on there for a limited time, and he actually refers to you as President Wazer.
The time has arrived, President Wazer. The world awaits your commands. The American people are counting on you to drive. Let's go. Accident ahead. I'll get a line to emergency command. You've arrived. It's been my honor and duty to see you through this mission.
That's kind of awesome. It's like, is it because I have Waze too? I don't use it all the time. Do you have to be at a certain level to get that? Or
I hope it requires status. That would be so awesome.
Boo.
All you peons.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Somebody's to another level.
Way too into that.
Yeah.
app.
You're proud of weird things.
Yeah.
I do not get stuck in traffic. Thank you very much.
I guess not. Holy cow.
Looking at Johnny Depp, one wouldn't think that he has the best hygiene. He plays parts where he looks dirty.
Looks a little grimy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And supposedly he gets this comment a lot. He claimed at the annual Beauty Awards in Hollywood on Sunday, where he won Fragrance of the Year for his cologne. Yeah.
No way.
It's called Sauvage. Sauvage.
Is that like Savage, but just classier?
Pretty much, yeah. But people tell him you look like a hobo, but you smell good.
Oh, well, that's nice.
This is a commercial of his cologne. Yes.
I gotta get out of here. Which way? I don't know. What am I looking for? Something I can't see. Sauvage.
Sauvage.
Cologne commercials are so dumb. What am I looking for? I don't know. I can't see. Sauvage.
When that first came out, I thought he was making fun of the Matthew McConaughey commercials where he's talking about his car and
the Lincoln ones.
The Lincoln ones.
Yeah.
I thought he was making fun of that, but then it was.
But it was real.
It's serious. Okay.
Yeah, it always smacks of like Zoolander and Moisture, like
Blue Steel,
the Merman one,
right.
like where he's like, the essence of water is moisture. Yes.
Last night were the home visits of the 4 girls left on The Bachelor, and one of the contestants, JoJo, she walked into her home and was greeted with roses and a letter, but while reading the letter, she realized it's not from the Bachelor bin.
JoJo, I first want to start by saying I'm writing you not because you are on the show. It's because I have spent the last 39 days self-reflecting and soul-searching about you and me. Wait, this letter's not from Ben.
She was all excited because she walks up to the door and there's roses. She's like, this is so sweet. And then it's her crazy ex that wants to get back with her, and she like got upset about it.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff,
so she ended up calling him and telling him that she was not interested, but she felt like she needed to come clean to Bachelor Ben, and he took it pretty well.
I know that JoJo has struggled to open up to me. And today I'm glad she did. Something that was really difficult turned into something good for us.
Yeah, spoiler alert, she made it through. I couldn't believe it.
Man, it's so funny because watching the show, I'm like, yeah, this is totally real life. But then just listening back to these clips, I'm like, why do I watch this show?
I know.
How do I think this is real?
Yeah, it's not as good this way. All right, so there you go. That's going to do it for your least of these. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that in depth during the podcast today. So if you want to get in on that, you can always get it iTunes Store or Android Market or allwally.com. This is the Wally Show, and when it comes to raising kids, women definitely have more insight, I think, to it than guys do. Because a lot of times, our wives spend more time with our kids, especially when they're, newborns, because they have to. And, if you're on maternity leave and your husband's off at work or whatever. But I think that carries over beyond there to where some women think that guys are just completely incapable of taking care of their child, and even people that don't even know you.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I was walking out of the grocery store the other day with my daughter Anna, and it was like 40 degrees maybe, so I had a jacket on her, hood on her, and I'm pushing the car with one hand, holding her with the other, and about 15 feet from the car, Anna pulled her hood off. And I'm like, I'm almost to the car. I'm just going to... And some lady stops me to scold me for not having my baby's head covered.
That's where they lose 90% of their heat.
She gave me that stat. Meanwhile, I'm standing outside my car, not able to put my daughter in the car because I have to wait till she's done scolding me. And I'm like, I was 15 feet from the car. My daughter's always taking her socks off or hats. Like she's always a little warm. Yeah. And I know this, and I know my car's right there. And it's like, if I were... it's just because I'm a guy, and she's
Right.
like, you're an incompetent father.
Yeah, if that was a mom, she would never have stopped to say, hey, cover your baby's head. Because there's this, I think it's a misconception that we don't know what we're doing as guys. Sadly, sometimes it's based by us not knowing what we're doing as guys. Like my wife, when I would watch Haley for the afternoon, if she was going to do something, she would leave me more instructions than she did the babysitter.
Yeah.
It's like pages of stuff. I'm like, I got this.
Well, and just before that, in that exact trip, I saw a couple from church, and they're like, where's your wife, Sarah? She's at home. I'm just like, you're out here by yourself? Oh, my goodness. Like, they're just so shocked that, like, I could care for a human being.
Yeah. Who should we call? We should call someone. But I come back to, we can't fully blame women for this because a lot of it's kind of like stereotypes are based in some sort of truth. I think that's the case, is that guys have done dumb things with their kids. I really do. Like, I lost mine once in the house. In the house, I lost her. And so, I couldn't find her. Like, to the point where I'm thinking I'm going to have to call the cops because I told her we were playing hide and go seek because I had some work to get done.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and she's really good at it. And then she fell asleep behind a door. And so, I couldn't find her. And then I literally was like, I'm going to have to lie to my wife about this.
Zach, I would like you to look across the studio right now into the eyes of the man on the other side of the room.
Yes.
This is why you get stopped by your car.
100%.
And people think you can't take care of your kids.
100%. I did that. All right, 877-91-WALLY is the number. So here you go. This is your chance to tell us a story of a time when your husband got it wrong. You left him in charge. He's going to watch the kids for the weekend or whatever. You got business you're doing or what's going on. You left him in charge and he messed it up. How did he do it? It'll make me feel better about losing my kid in my own house. 877-91-WALLY is the number. That's 877-91-WALLY. This is the Wally Show, and you know how stereotypes are kind of born out of some sort of truth, and I think there are women that are a little scared to leave their kids in their husband's care for too long, because sometimes some of us guys have gotten it wrong in the past. So, Diana, what is the time that your husband messed up taking care of the kids?
Well, we were at a restaurant, and he was going to be sweet and let me continue eating when she said she needed to go to the bathroom. She was about 3 years old, and he comes back, and he admits that she ran her hand through the urinal.
Oh, as a mom, you're like, no, this is why I don't let you do things.
Yeah, we wanted to amputate at the shoulder at that point. Oh, that's nasty.
This is the Wally Show, and for women, it can kind of be scary leaving their kids in the care of their husbands for some reason. Well, I say for some reason, because some of us get it wrong from time to time, and we do dumb things. So, Sally, what is a time that your husband messed up taking care of the kids?
Well, he'd had our daughter in Home Depot, Lowe's, somewhere like that, and ran into our friend Wes as a contractor, and he had like a wife beater on, and she sees a tattoo for the first time. So he explains to her later what it is that she's asked, and I will say that he was on the computer, and he was engrossed in taxes. Well, she's a dollar and asked for a pen, and he gives it to her. And later that night, I'm bathing her, and I'm like, what is this? And she has ink all over her legs, all over her tummy, all over her arms.
Yeah, see, because a wife in that situation, a mom, the kid comes in and goes, hey, Mommy, can I have a pen? And the first question is?
No, you're a toddler. You don't even ask a question. There's no question. No,
there's no question.
You're a toddler. No ink.
I figured the first question is, what do you want it for? See, that shows how much I know. I know nothing. All right, Jacqueline, so a lady stopped Zach in the parking lot of a Target to tell him to cover his baby's head up, even though she had just pulled it off and he was 10 feet from the car, because women think, as guys, we have no idea what we're doing. Sadly, that's kind of true sometimes. So what is a time that your husband got it wrong while watching your kids?
So with our first child, when the first time I left him home with my husband, I came back and there was a scratch or a gash on his forehead. And I was like, what happened to his head? He was like, the ceiling fan is lower than it looks.
Oh, that's awesome. I have actually seen that happen. We were, I was in high school, and our coach had his kid. We were at a Burger King. They had ceiling fans in the lobby for some reason, and I remember this coach picking his kid up over his head, and you hear, bah, 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 bah. So as he puts him on his shoulders, he hears the kid crying. He picks him back up off his shoulders and hits him on the way down, too. He got him going up and coming down.
That's worse than what my husband did, so at least there's that.
Oh, yeah, and he looked at all of us kids and goes, no one says a thing to my wife. This is the Wally Show, and sometimes as a mom, you probably feel more comfortable leaving your kids with a babysitter, because guys, as dads, we sometimes get distracted and get it wrong. So, Trish, what is the time your husband messed up while watching the kids?
Well, he went to go take the kids with him to go shopping for a cell phone, and he went to a couple different stores, and each time he left our 3-year-old daughter in the car seat because I guess she fell asleep.
Oh, no, you cannot do that.
No, what makes it worse is when we came home, he came in with the other kids, and we hear knocking at the door, and I open the door, and it's our 3-year-old daughter.
Oh, he left her in the car again?
Yes, when we got home. So she said that every time she woke up, everyone was gone, and then she woke up and she was home, so she decided to come in by herself.
Oh, my gosh. Well, it's a good thing she was there to watch her. Well, that's a wrap. Podcast is over.